What's going on, guys? I just want to take a break from the prep series and bring you guys a different kind of video, giving you a little bit more about me, the guy that you're watching in the gym, eating the food, all that, and kind of how I got to where I'm at now, which is just under 10 weeks out from my first ever bodybuilding show. Question I get asked a lot is like, how did I get into bodybuilding? What drove me to be where I'm at? I actually got asked that today by the owner of the gym that I go to. And he was like, what prompted you to just start getting big? Like, what was the inspiration? And I didn't really have a good answer for him, but I thought about it some more. And, we'll call it dumb luck, I guess. Right place, right time, right people. Good combo of that, more or less. But I want to give a more in-depth answer, and really show you guys what it was like before I am who I am right now. So I started lifting, it'll be 4 years ago this year. I started lifting September of 2022. And I remember that because I got my license, and the first thing I did was get a gym membership. I was very excited to go and start lifting, start working out. I had no intentions of bodybuilding. I had no knowledge of bodybuilding. I didn't really even know anything about the gym. I just knew I wanted to go to the gym, get in better shape, get a little bit stronger. And that was the extent of it. And that was the extent of it for quite some time. And then I really started to like it. I still didn't really take it like super serious. I didn't know what I was doing on the nutrition side of things. I hadn't touched enhancements yet, but I knew that this was going to be something that I was going to do, for the rest of my life, or at least a long period of time. It was nice to be in the gym. It was nice to get stronger, feel better, all that sort of stuff. And as I was progressing, I noticed I was like, we're looking pretty solid. And then I really started taking less and less care of myself and started focusing more on work and doing other things and not so much in the gym. So my physique wasn't that great. And then I kind of started doing a little bit of research, started learning a little bit more, as one does when they start doing a hobby for a long time. And so at this point, I was about a year and a half in, almost 2 years in, and I really started learning. I was like, learning about the gym, what to do, how to do certain things. That's when I started becoming like a consumer of, you could call it the fitness industry stuff. Started watching YouTube from people in the fitness space, started learning about bodybuilders and that sort of thing. And that got me even more reeled in to the whole gym thing. And then December of 2024, I decided I'm going to hop on testosterone. Now, I didn't really know what I was doing. I thought I did, but I seriously had no idea. And I was in no condition at all to be starting enhancements. So through this video, I also want to, explain, like, before you embark and decide to go to the dark side, we'll call it, you know a lot less than you think you do. And I want to start out by saying, pay for knowledge, right? Time is money, and time is also our most valuable resource. You have to spend a lot of time, and a lot of energy, and a lot of effort to be able to understand everything fully. Now, I don't even understand everything fully now. And I've spent the last year and a half just about doing this thing every single day, consistently learning, getting better, progressing every single day for the last year and a half. And I still don't know everything. And I'm not going to know everything forever. And that's also the joy of it. But if you're going to start a cycle and you want to get into this world of bodybuilding and living the lifestyle, pay somebody else for their knowledge and for their time to teach you those things. That's very important because, I made a lot of mistakes early on. So my advice is to avoid those so you have better results long term. And I'll get into it in a moment, but you don't have any health scares. So back to it. In December, I started the testosterone and I was like, this is awesome. The month of December, I put on 35 pounds. Now, was that lean contractile tissue? Not a chance in hell. I was eating like an asshole. I was training hard. I was definitely putting on muscle. Things were growing. I was looking better, feeling better, all the sorts of things that you're supposed to. But my diet was horrendous. I was literally on a seafood diet. I see it and I eat it. Now, looking back, I think that helped me put on a lot of tissue. I really, truthfully think that helped me shape my physique today. Would I advise that? No, that was a terribly unhealthy choice, but there were some good benefits. Could I have maybe made more progress if I did it the right way? Probably. But for what it was, it did contribute to my physique significantly. Now, flash forward to about mid-January 2025, I decided to add in another anabolic. Now, again, I had no idea what I was doing, but I upped my test to 500, previously 300, and I added in 300 milligrams of NPP. I also would add in D-ball on leg days, and on occasion back days. You can imagine the water retention from that. And that contributed significantly to elevated blood pressure. Now, I had pretty high blood pressure naturally, but adding in all of that, eating like an asshole, water retention like crazy, my blood pressure was a wreck. And I remember specifically one day, I think this was now in February, and I walked up a flight of stairs. Nothing crazy. I didn't sprint up the stairs. I just walked upstairs. And I remember I was like, man, I feel weird. I felt like a tub of lard. I looked like a tub of lard, but I really felt gross. And I was very hot. My face felt swollen and warm. And I just felt really like lethargic and gross. And I was really confused. And so we took my blood pressure, and it was 210 over 180. Very, very high. And, that kind of scared me a little bit. I did not go to the hospital. I actually went to bed. Now, looking back, that was a stupid decision, but everything about that whole timeline from December to about February was stupid anyway. Made a lot of mistakes in that time, gave myself a little bit of gyno, really did not set myself up well. So that sparked something in me. I was like, man, we got to get in shape. So I wanted to go on a cut. Now, again, I didn't know what I was doing, so I left those drugs in. In fact, I added in Anavar and Winstrol. Again, had no idea what I was doing. Then shortly thereafter, I got the flu, and that dropped me about like 15 pounds in a week or so. So I'm sitting here cool at like 250 or so. And this is what I look like, by the way, right around this time. Horrible, looked terrible. And after that, I was like, man, I really don't know what I'm doing. I got to get a coach. So I went on Instagram and I got my first coach. And that was a huge turning point for me because my coach, Tristan, he showed me the right way to do things. He broke it down. He taught me. And he showed me that there is a better way to do things. He taught me about training, about nutrition, most of all, and about the safe and better approach to PEDs. So I signed up with him in March of 2025, and that really sparked the journey. Now, again, at this point, I still had no real intentions of bodybuilding. I just kind of wanted to live that lifestyle, maybe step on stage one day. That was kind of like one of those things you think about, you're like, just to do it, right? But for me, it was still just, I wanted to look good in the gym, wanted to look good in public, whatever. So we started a cutting phase, got me off the drugs, got my health in check, and flash forward to about June, July-ish of 2025. I look like this here. And this is when the turning point was, I think, where I would look in the mirror and I'd be like, wow, this physique is pretty sick. I like what I see. And that really flipped the switch. That's when I really started to fall in love with the process. I had been dialed in for about 3 months or 4 months then. And I've been doing the same thing consistently day in and day out. Working a regular job. I wasn't coaching yet or anything like that. So at the time I was working at the vitamin job actually. And then eventually swapped and I got an overnight security job. Because at the time I was like, man, I just want whatever pays me a little bit more money so I can afford everything, like the food, the enhancements, everything like that. And something that is conducive to my goals of getting a better physique. Now, you might be like, overnights, that's not helpful. Just paid more money, really. That was the only difference. And then also, at this time, I had my daughter. So that, for me, was a huge turning point as well. So a lot happened in those first 3 months. And that was the ultimate turning point. I was like, shit, we got to get it together. So I really started taking it serious. And I was dialed in, man. I was super dialed in. And then flash forward another couple of months here in like September, October time, where I looked like this. End of the cut, roughly. And I was very, very lean. Felt awesome, looked great, definitely small, but I thought I looked huge. And I'd never seen my abs before in my entire life. My low back was striated. I could see lines and veins in my quads. It was awesome. And I was like, man, this is going to be something I do. This is my passion. I fell in love with it. That solidified it for me. From then, I was like, let's get after it a little bit. So I started posting on social media roughly around then. I didn't know what I was doing with that either. And I just started posting a little bit. And then a couple months later, down the road, my coach Tristan had brought up the idea of me coaching. It's like, didn't really think about that, but I'm into it. So we started working behind the scenes together. And then in December of 2025, he brought me on Forge Genetics as a coach. By then, we were fully locked into bodybuilding and the whole fitness thing and getting huge. Now, this is also around the time when we really kicked off the gaining phase, the off season, come to find out. And we really pushed it. This was my first real taste of bodybuilding and what it takes to, get big and really put on tissue. So in this off-season time, things got pretty hard, pretty extreme. Peak doses, we were at 770 test, 770 EQ, 10 IUs of growth, like stuff I'd never touched before, stuff I'd never seen before. And we were also eating 6,000 calories every day, 1,000 grams of carbs. Like, it was nuts. And it was hard, right? Eating that amount of food every single day, training, getting everything done, that was really tough. But I had the advantage of being a full-time coach, working at home, making good money. And that allowed me to really hone in and dial in. And, the picture that you saw where I was peak cut, I went from that to this peak bulk, right? And I was around 245 here. So it was a very productive off season, and I really pushed myself and gave it my all. And that even further pushed me into the love of bodybuilding. That even further got me dug in and really passionate about it, because I saw what I was capable of. I saw what could happen if I really pushed myself and gave something my all. I mean, honestly, up until that point in my entire life, I had never given something that much effort and that much focus and that much energy ever before. Because before I was just I was a fat, lazy stoner. I played video games. I would go to the gym sometimes. I would work a shitty job, like nothing crazy. But, between really living a disciplined lifestyle, having a daughter young, that really flipped my life inside out and forced me to kind of turn the jets on a little bit and get shit together. So after really seeing what I was capable of, that's when I really fell in love. And that solidified it for me. I was like, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life, no matter what. And now, we are just under 10 weeks out. It's been a journey, and learning everything that I have, experiencing everything that I have, going from fat to lean, back to big, back to lean again. It's been wild. And the transformation I've made in just a year and a half has been nothing short of mind-boggling. I get that all the time, crazy transformation, wild. And seeing myself every day, I never really pick up on it. But looking back, I was like, oh shit, we really did something cool there, And for me, I've never felt about something else that I do about bodybuilding. Like that feeling is solely tied to bodybuilding. I'm not at all passionate or anything like that about anything except for bodybuilding. Like there's never been a draw greater than bodybuilding for me. And being a full-time coach and just being in it all day, every day, it's awesome. I couldn't ask for anything better. So a little rewind back to peak bulk, right? We got there and we were pushing towards the end. I was like, yeah, we got to cut it off, because we weren't really progressing. I was just kind of putting on a little bit of fat. We kind of got out of shape. Things were really hard. Like, my body was definitely pushing back. I was very tired all the time. Like, it was definitely the end of the bulk. So we cut it there. We went into a short cruise phase so everything would line up to do my first shows that are coming up here in October. So we set aside time for that, and we started prep a little early at about 18 weeks out. And that's when shit really got fun. Living the prep lifestyle so far has been even greater than the off season was. And again, I didn't think I could, be more passionate about something, but each and every day, each and every week, I'm more and more passionate about it and really enjoy what I'm doing even more. Literally every day, every week. It gets harder, it gets tougher, right? But I think that's what draws me to it. It's like it's something hard. It's a goal that I can chase, and it's not easily attainable. You can't buy it. You can't be gifted it. It's something that you have to endure, that you have to put yourself through, and really shows what you got. And that's what draws me to bodybuilding most of all, is it's up to you, right? You make the decisions every day to, focus on your goals, to align with your goals. And if you don't make those decisions, or at least the right decisions, you're not going to get the results you want. That's the ultimate draw for me. It is up to me. The results are up to me. It's up to nobody else. There's no team. There's nothing. And that could also be the hard part of the sport for a lot of people. But for me, that's the best part, because I don't have to answer to anybody. Everything falls on me. And that pushes me. That lights a fire under my ass, knowing that if I don't put in the work, I'm going to suck it up when it comes to stage. But if I do put in the work and I do everything that I possibly can to achieve the look that I want, then I can't be upset with the result. If I did absolutely everything, I checked the boxes every single day, then I can't be upset with the result. So that's kind of how I ended up 9 weeks and 5 days out from my first ever bodybuilding show. Yeah, it's honestly a very simple story. It can be done. You can really make significant changes in your life in the matter of a year. My other point to make is shit takes time, right? Like, I didn't make this transformation overnight, man. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of discipline. And that's what a lot of people kind of miss. I even see this in clients who are like, man, I wish we were progressing faster. I wish this, I wish. And it's like, dude, we've been at it for 3 months. Like, I'm not sure really where your head is at, what you're expecting, and a lot of people have that same idea. It's like things happen overnight and they don't. It takes a lot of time, a lot of consistency. That's the biggest key, is you have to be consistent. Getting a great physique is awesome, but actually like getting it and doing the things that are required, it's not that awesome all the time. It's not very glamorous. It's very monotonous. A lot of people don't do it. And that's why a lot of people are jealous of other physiques. It's because, they know it takes hard work and they're not willing to put that in. So it's very easy to be like, oh, I wish I looked like that guy. You won't, because you're not going to put in the work. And I'm not trying to sit here and say like I'm better than you because I put in the work or whatever. But it's the reality. Like even myself, I look at people that, yeah, sure, they're a 30-year-old IFBB pro and they've been doing it much longer than me. But I still think like, if I just put in extra work, I could look like them. And maybe one day I could. But for me, I don't look at it as, I wish I could be there. I'm not there yet. Right. And that's the mentality change that has happened to me over the past year and a half of doing this. I kind of got a little off track there and rambled a bit. But the point is, if you really put your mind to it, you are able to accomplish a lot in just a year and a half, whatever. And putting yourself and putting your all into something is the most important thing that you can do in your entire life. Regardless, it doesn't have to be bodybuilding. It doesn't even have to be gym related. Just putting your all into something is the most important thing that you can do in your life. Giving yourself something hard to do, a goal, something to work towards every single day. Now, do I think that bodybuilding is maybe the best one, or at least getting a cool physique? Yeah, probably. But that's personal bias, right? I really don't think there's anything better than looking fucking fantastic. But yeah, that's kind of my message, is like, give yourself something hard to do, give yourself a goal, and work towards it every day. Because if someone were to spectate you for a week, follow you along, say with a camera, right? Would they know what your goal is? You should ask yourself that. If someone were to follow me around for a week, would they know what my goal is? Would they know what I want to do in a year or 6 months even? Would they know? And if the answer is no, then you've got a problem and you should address that. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to share my journey a little bit. There isn't really a whole lot that went on. It's a lot of monotony, but there was a time where things were hard, and now they're hard, but it's a different type of hard. It's basically just like me against me. There's really no outside factors that are challenging. It's just me in my own world. Can I out-tough myself, essentially? But I kind of wanted to share, where I started and how I got to where I am now with this badass physique, 9 weeks out from my first ever bodybuilding show. Yeah, a little change of pace. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, comment below about your journeys. If you have any questions, comment that. You can also DM me on Instagram. If you enjoyed the type of video, comment that as well. And subscribe for other videos. I will still pump out regular gym content. I just wanted to throw this out there, kind of break up the prep series a little bit and just put myself out there a bit more. That is all I got. Catch you guys in the next video.